Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to today's episode of Sedat HR Digest. I am super excited to be on your screens one more time. And today's episode promises to be very exciting. And of course, we never have any episode without learning a lot from it. And so today promises to be one of those days where we will have a lot of things to take away. And we want to promise you that you will not leave this particular episode the same way you join us. Wherever you are watching us from, kindly drop your name, your location in the comment section, and I will read it out to acknowledge you. In fact, I have missed all of you. I really missed all of you. I know you missed me too. All right. Sedat HR Digest is brought to us by Sedat Consult. You can contact Sedat Consult on 0244629245, 0244629245 for all your HR and organizational needs. And once again, on this platform, we discuss relevant HR and organizational topics that helps us to impact the bottom line of our organizations and helps us to influence the people we work with. Don't forget to like, comment, share on all our social media handles. Let your loved ones join, let your colleagues join in, let your leaders in your organization join, because on this platform is where we discuss relevant HR and organizational topics. Okay, today we are looking at common workplace challenges and how to handle them as HR practitioners. And we are super excited to bring an expert your way to help with our topic for today. Once again, episodes are very engaging and interactive. And so during the course of our discussion, if you want to seek any clarification, you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. We'll read it out for our resource person. So today we are having a little tweak on our presentations, that we would have our resource person have the presentation, and then we will reserve 10 minutes for questions from you. Remember, but hey, if during the course of the presentation you have anything to clarify, do put it in the comment box and I would read it out for our resource person to respond to you. Okay, our resource person is ready. I am ready, and I know you are also ready. This is Sedat HR Digest. If you just join us, once again, thank you. I see Samuel Enchi. Samuel is watching us from Kumasi. Thank you, Samuel, for joining. I know a lot of us are out there watching us, but please drop your name and your location in the comment section, and I would duly acknowledge you. Well, we have a resource person, a person, honestly, I really admire her from afar. She doesn't know this, and I'm telling her this today. I really admire. Anytime I see her on any artwork, I go like, hey, I would love to engage this woman one day. And I'm so excited that today I am hosting her on Sedat HR Digest. She is a certified NLC listed mediator and a pulse trainer in organizational effectiveness and appropriate dispute resolution. She is currently the deputy CEO of Game and Game Group, a consultant, one that you would not get bored sitting under her tutorials. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored today to introduce to you a resource person, the expert to help us digest and bisect and all the sets and all the bye-byes of our topic today, common workplace challenges and how to handle them as HR professionals. Help me welcome our resource person, Lizzie and Kwagbeji. Right. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Patience. Good evening
You're
and good
welcome
evening
to
to your
Sedat HR
audience.
Digest.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
We are
much
super
for
excited to have you here. And like I mentioned, I didn't tell you earlier on when we spoke, but I really admire you anytime I see you. I wanted to say it here, not to you alone. All right. So we have some people joining us and putting their names and location in the comments section. I will do that and we'll go straight to our topic for today. I know you are ready for us. In fact, we are extremely ready for you. We can't wait to listen and to learn from you and from your experience. So we have Happy Anoche Sapon and Happy as watching us from Tema Community 20. Thank you, Happy, for joining us. Okay, Zachary, good to have you here once again. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Zachary, for welcoming me. In fact, I really missed you. I really missed you. It's been a while. All right. So, like I said, today we are looking at common workplace challenges and how to handle them as HR professionals. And Lizzie Ann is going to help us go through today's topic. Please take your notebook, take your pens, make some notes, and don't forget to put in your questions. If you want to seek any clarification while the presentation is going on, please don't forget to put it in there. We'll read it out for her to respond to you and to help you. And so, Liziane, let's kickstart our conversation with this question. I know you have powerful things to share with us, but before you start your presentation, maybe you would want to give us an idea of what GAME and GAME does and your role as a mediator with the NLC, so that I'll go and look for trouble and come and look for you. All right, so we are ready for you. And once you tell us, you can kickstart your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pat. I'm very honored to be on your platform this evening. You already said it, I'm Lizian. It's very refreshing to hear that you admire me from afar. Thank you. And I'm Lizian. I work with Gami and Gami Group. Gami and Gami Group is a HR, industrial relations, and dispute resolution consulting firm. And we work with both private and public sector Ghana and across West Africa. We are into dispute resolution, like I said, but more tweaked towards appropriate dispute resolution. We don't go to court, especially when it comes to HR issues. The best and most appropriate forum for HR issues is usually either mediation, negotiation, or arbitration. So we are more specialized within the appropriate dispute resolution mechanisms. And with the NLC, even though I work with Gami and Gami Group, I'm a certified mediator and arbitrator. So I'm on the list. Like you said, don't go looking for trouble and come for me, because I am a very impartial mediator and I would sit in to help you resolve your differences without any show of bias. Thank you.
I hear you. I won't look for trouble. I won't look for trouble. All right. So in today's work environment, corporate space, I mean, a lot of things are changing around us and things are evolving. In the workplace, the people we are managing keep changing. We have a lot of like about 5 generations at the workplace now. I mean, a whole lot of things that we are handling as HR professionals, and sometimes these challenges or some of these things tend to pose challenges to us, and how to go about it becomes some way for us as professionals, because we are handling with a lot of things. What are some of the common challenges we have in the working space now? How can we go about it? Please, we are ready for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it okay I can have some slides to
Sure,
present?
sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Pat, once again. I recall when we had our chit chat off camera, I mentioned to you and your team that most times HR professionals and various individuals, especially workers and leadership, we always jump into what is the problem and how do we fix the problem. But the issue has to be with, if you have a problem and you want to fix the problem, you need to know what is the foundation of this problem before you can be able to fully identify and properly place where the challenge should be, then it helps you and puts you in a better place to know how do I handle and fix it. The world of work has changed, and professionals and organizations must enhance their working relations, their systems, their processes to remain very relevant. Just like you yourself said, Pat, the world of work has evolved. And due to this evolution, a lot of challenges have come into play. The things that were normally not really considered, issues that would have ordinarily been swept under the carpet, and now have now become prominent issues that take people to the law courts, that take people to the labor commission, that lead to disruption in work. We have an enlightened workforce. This is one of the things that has led to the evolution. We have new legal regulations. Was it 2 weeks ago? I was with the Ministry of Employment Committee that is currently reviewing the Act 651, the Ghana labor law. And legal regulations keep coming in. Apart from the labor law, you have workman's compensation, you have other ILO conventions. All these things add to the change. The SDG 8, decent work, refined systems and processes, technological advancements. Now we have everything is on the tip. You want to know how to deal with an authoritative boss, just clicking. You want to know how to deal with unfair termination, just clicking. It's different from those days where you have to go get yourself a lawyer and all that becomes difficult for the workers. The same goes for the employers. So because of this change, definitely we have more prevalent challenges in the workplace, and very peculiar and different from those that we used to have, or advanced. Maybe I must say advanced, because some of them were there, but they were very minimal. But now they are more advanced because we are enlightened. We have laws that protect us. We have processes and systems that we are exposed to, even if not within our institution, outside our institution, and then technological advancements. So I just want to have a 2-minute engagement with your audience. Quickly drop in the chat box if you're on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. Tell me, what are some of the most common workplace challenges you have faced as a HR practitioner? I'm standing by for your feedback. Performance management systems, poor performance, absenteeism, lateness. Okay, I'm still standing by for some of your feedback. Do you work, or are you a HR practitioner? If yes, can you just drop in the chat box? What are some of the most common ones you have faced? Okay. Happy says ensuring punctuality. Okay. Lateness. Okay. Handling a toxic environment. Joy Dudu says managing relationships between employees and their superiors. Okay. And then Anita says lack of succession planning. Interesting. What about you? I'm waiting for yours. Disciplinary issues. Yeah. Adversarial work environment. Conflict management issues. Great. Great, great, great. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Indeed, yes, every workplace is faced with various kinds of challenges. Any human institution, because we are all different. Somebody says theft. Okay, Angela, I believe you are from the hospitality. The hospitality is faced with a lot of theft issues. Handling undermining colleagues. Great. Disciplinary procedures. Okay. Okay. So now that you have put together some of the workplace challenges, it's a brief exercise. Lack of cooperation among leaders and subordinates. Thank you, Samuel Clifford. Now that you have dropped in some of the common challenges you face, I'm going to ask you, what are some of the management tools? What tools do you have in your management cockpit to handle some of these issues? Anita says procedural injustice. What tools? Managing industrial relations. Thank you, Patience. So with all these challenges that you have placed out, the next question is, what tools do you have in your management cockpit to deal with some of these challenges that you face? I'll just take from 2 people and then I will proceed. Okay, micromanagement, Stephanie. Awesome. Great. Biometric machines. Oh, okay, good. Change management issues. Okay. Somebody says they have biometric machines. I think that deals with the lateness issue. Policies and procedures. Yay. Awesome. Pamela, that is on point. Policies and procedures. I think on that note, I can jump in straight. I'm going to liken the workplace into a home, a building. Remember, we are talking about workplace, which is seated within an organization. And an organization is made up of various aspects, various legs. So if you want to build a house, what do? The first thing is you lay a foundation. And based on the foundation, your foundation will determine what kind of structure you build. Okay? So there are 3 dimensions. I'll take it up. There are 3 dimensions for every organizational effectiveness. And I'm taking you off right from the root cause of organizational challenges. What is the root of every problem? Most of the most commonest issues in the workplace. First, we need a structure. It's like you want to go into marriage. The first thing is you have to have a vision. Your vision is, I want to marry. The next thing is, what kind of woman do I want to marry? How do I go about this marriage? I extend it back to the building. So the first thing is your foundation. You build a foundation and then you have your structure on it. Your structure will determine how many bedrooms you want to have in this building. Okay? And then where do I situate which bedroom? After you have your structural work, the next thing that you jump to is in the systems. What kind of systems do I need to put in place to make this my ultra-modern dream house? So I need an electrical system for the light. I need a water system for water connection. I need a sewage system to be able to manage the waste. So then you put in the process, the systems in place. Then you move to the next thing. What processes do I need to put in place to be able to make these systems work within my structure, which is the house, which is the foundation? So you have your structure, you have your systems, then you set in processes, which incorporates policies, if I'm linking it into the workplace. After you have put in the processes in place, then the next thing is competencies. Who do I need to do what, when, and how? So basically, this is the root cause of all the problems that we face in the workplace. If your structure, your competencies, your policies, and the culture are not put properly in place right from the foundation of the institution, when the house is definitely built and you and your wonderful family come into the house, The next thing that you have is, oh, we have a problem with the plumbing. Oh, my AC is leaking. Oh, the lighting system is a mess. Oh, the sewage is not working. Where do you trace it? You trace it right down to the foundation. What was the structural layout for this house? Now I'm bringing it into the workspace. So in every organization, we have various dimensions that will aid the organization towards effectiveness. And when we are talking about organizational effectiveness, we are talking about a workplace that the challenges and the problems are minimized. And then we have systems and processes in place that help to curtail even the emanation of problems. So the first thing is our structure. The next is our culture. And then the other one is competencies. So all the problems that you have mentioned, that you have typed in the boxes, all those problems will be fitted into one of these three things. So the challenge I'm having of lateness, is it a structural problem? Is it a cultural problem? Or is it a competency problem? So the role of management is, as HR professionals, the moment we get into the institutions, our role as technical advisors is, let us study the organizational structure. Okay, our organizational structure, is it helpful or it is blocking? The culture, is it healthy or is unhealthy? And the competencies, are they lacking or they are advanced? So once you have this framework, it makes it easy for you to, one, easily identify problems, challenges, and pointers within the workplace. Secondly, it helps you to be able to know, how do I fix what problem? Because if you're able to identify within which of the dimensions is the challenge coming from, then you know what tool I can pick from my management and HR toolbox or cockpit to fix that particular problem. So we're going to start with the first dimension. The first dimension is structure. Okay? When we talk about structure, what am I talking about? I'm talking about organizational charts, reporting relationships. And the organizational chart helps you to know who reports to what kind of job description or narratives for which position, what are the performance management measurement methods, what are the performance management systems for each of the jobs, what is the official communication channel, what are the time controls within the institution, and any other written rules. So you can see that the structure of your organization helps to build the framework that will hold the organization itself, and how work is to proceed, how work is to, operations of the business is to move on. Who does what, when, who reports to who, clear channels of communication. And within the structure, we can begin to look at your policies, we can begin to look at your procedures, we can begin to look at your systems that you need in place, you can look at the people that we need to work with. And your structure has a very great influence on your culture, which is another dimension. Your structure has an influence on your strategy as a business person, the processes that you go through, and your organizational relationship, which is the base for most of the workplace challenges that we are faced with. Most of the challenges emanate from the structure. And if the structure defines and influences the relationship, then it's very crucial to look at what kind of structure do I have in place. It outlines the system of how activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of the organization. So your structure, your systems, your people. What kind of systems do you have? How are your systems helping your organizational performance? How are your systems helping the people that are working with the organization? How are your policies helping to guide people to work well so that they don't have friction? They don't have the clashes that we have, like my lady mentioned, clash between managing relationship between workers and leaders, supervisors, managers, and top management. Once you have a structure that is well placed, it helps us to avoid those problems. So maybe your problem is coming from your structure. And the structure helps you. Once you have a clearly defined structure, the issue of employee industrial relations and all that comes with it is dealt with. Because when you have your structure, definitely the next thing is you know the roles. Remember the reporting relationship. What are my roles as a worker? What is my role as a worker? What is your role as management? What are your duties as the employer? And what are my responsibilities and duties as a worker? What are my rights? Act 651, if you read from section 8 to 11, will tell you about the duties and then the right of both the employer and the worker. So if you are having employee relations issues, then you quickly want to go into it and see what are the responsibilities that are expected of the worker. And this dovetails into performance management issues, because a lot of people have performance management issues. Recently, we were setting up performance management systems for one of the banks, and we had to do a nationwide training. And when we were going around, some of the people said, oh, we are ready to work. But the challenge is we don't have the equipment to aid us to perform to meet our targets. So you see that a common workplace challenge is, performance issues. Then you as a HR, instead of just jumping in and writing queries, the first thing you would want to do is dig in deep, have a deep dive and ask yourself, reflect into your systems and say, what performance management systems have we put in place? Have we performed our duties well as employers to provide the work and provide the tools and equipment? Have we set KPIs for the people? Are we paying them the agreed remuneration? Do we have a formula for pay? And that saves us even from negotiation issues. I'm dealing with some of the issues already. Because if we are going to negotiate, then we must have a formula for gain sharing. Have we furnished the workers with copies of their contracts? Do they have a clearly defined job description? Have we trained them? Are we retraining those who are underperforming? Are we protecting the interest of the worker? So that is your first lap as a HR. Is a performance issue? Jump straight into your duties first, check your processes, and then see what have I done so far. Am I aligned as a professional in line with the law and best practice? When you see that you are cleared, then you have the integrity and the authority to now move on to the worker and now start dealing. You, the worker, it is your responsibility and your duty as enshrined in the law to show up and report for work regularly and punctually. That deals with absenteeism and lateness. Then performance issues. Your role as a worker is to enhance the productivity of the business. That deals with performance issues. But before you can jump and say, let me fix this performance issue, then what you have to ask yourself is, have I provided the work and the tools for the worker? Have I given the worker targets on which, the basis of which I am going to measure his value and productivity that he's adding to the business? Is it a policy issue? We are dealing with deviant characters within the institution. That's a common challenge. Then we want to go and see. You are supposed to obey lawful instructions as a worker. Then you now move to your side as the HR and check. Have I provided the needed policies and procedures that to guide the worker to work within the framework? If you have provided the policies and procedures, then you want to fix it by going back into those policies as a reference point and see which policy are you in violation of, and what are the processes that have been put in place within the policies to help deal with this incalcitrant behavior. So basically, the structure is very crucial. It's a foundation of every workplace. If your structure is not healthy, if your structure is not advanced, definitely it will affect the business. And you'd always have confusion, reporting lines. Somebody will jump and leave his direct boss and move straight to the MD's office because he has a challenge. The structure clearly have a clearly definition and clearly spells out the reporting channels, the chain of command, and what is expected from whoever. The second dimension is the culture. We're talking about cultural issues. These days, everybody is preaching culture, workplace culture, workplace culture. What actually is culture? What do we mean by workplace culture? You ask yourself, what is it all about? Your culture is basically how the organization does things, the values and the behaviors that contribute to your unique social and psychological environment within the organization. What is of value to you and how you want your workers to behave? And remember, I likened the organization into a family and into a building structure. If we are to bring the culture into the family, it is not the children that you give birth to who determine and define how they want to behave as kids. It is not your children that will tell you how they want to be disciplined and when and where and how they want to do what. No. The role of leadership is to set norms, shared values, and attitudes that influence the workplace and performance behaviors. So just like parents sit together and they decide, in this home, you don't dress anyhow. In this home, you don't talk anyhow. In this home, you wake up at 5:30, you do your chores. They set timelines to guide the kids to be able to behave in a certain way that will depict the home that they are coming from. It is the same way we place it back into the workplace. So it is the role of management. Oh, in this workplace, we have a lot of problems. People don't respect. They are so adversarial. Every little thing, they are going to labor commission or court. There is a lot of indiscipline. What you have to ask and what you need to deal with as the HR professional. Remember, you are supposed to be the professional, the think tank, the technical person. It's a cultural issue, then you have to dig deep. What kind of culture do we want for this workplace? The standards are supposed to be set by the management. And you don't just set the standards. Just like parents from time to time sit their kids and counsel them, it's the same way your role as HR. Don't wait until a negative culture erupts and gets out of hand. From time to time, culture is something that is behavioral. So over time, new cultures are developed. So because you don't want them to develop new negative cultures that are not aligned to your institution, you as the worker, you as a professional, the technical human resource manager to the business, you have to make sure that continuously you set up trainings, you develop flyers, you put in systems in place where you are enhancing the culture so that it is fully imbibed in the workers. And you tell them, this is how you used to do it elsewhere, but here, this is how we do it. And I'm glad somebody in the chat box mentioned change management. So if you used to do it in a particular way, you, the HR professional, you, the leader, you are supposed to help inculcate the kind of culture, prompt reporting to work, respect, integrity, honesty, trust, all those things. It is your role as HR to imbibe it. Because remember, we have people coming into the workplace from different orientations, and you can't expect everybody to know. Some people genuinely don't know. So you give them the letter, they may not even read it. So take your time. Like you raise your children, you're supposed to raise your worker in line with the law, train and retrain. So in most cases, some of the challenges is adversarial cultures. People are right-based. This is our rights. You don't do it this way, especially with the enlightened workforce we have now. You cannot just do things by heart as leaders or as a HR. You must know how to deal with the emotions of the people. Is it an engaged culture or disengaged behavior? All those. So when the red signals point out, your role is quickly check. If this is a cultural issue, what is it? Is it a norm issue? Is it a behavioral issue? Is it an adversarial attitude? Is it a right-based issue? You are able to check all these out. Then you move quickly to the culture. Is it advanced? Is it healthy or unhealthy? Is it an obstacle to the competencies of the people doing their work professionally, or is being a blockade? You should be able to tell all this, and that helps you to know how to deal with those problems that come with it. I shared with you a framework. I don't know if you can see it well. That's from Spencer Stout. It's a culture alignment framework, which helps to give tools to practitioners on how to align your culture to strategy. Because your organizational culture can either support or undermine your strategy. So every HR practitioner need a cultural framework, a framework that you use to align and see, what do we need to do? Do we need to work on the purpose? Do we need to work on safety? Do we need to work on results? Do we need to work on enjoyment? Do we need to work on learning? What is the level of dependency? What is the level of interdependency? Do we need to focus more on flexibility? Or maybe we need to look more at stability? You can take a snapshot of that. When you have time, just go through it and then help fit your organizational culture into this. If you're able to check the dimensions of your culture, it will be easy for you to know this is a cultural problem. Okay, for this cultural problem, I think I need to work more on interdependence, or maybe I need to work more on flexibility, or maybe I need to work more on relationship. My lady just sent me a prompt. I think we are going to go on a break. If you have any question, please put it in the chat box. When we come back from break, I would respond to it. And then I have just, I think, 2 or 3 more slides to go, and then we'll open the forum for you to ask questions. So I'm going to pause and hand over to the CDAT team. Thank you. To you. Okay, I think we are back. So I'm going to quickly just wrap up. So that's the somebody is asking what is the name of the framework. It's Spencer Stout. You can go online and just Google it. And will the slides be shared? No. So if you have any slide that you think you are in love with, please just take a snapshot of it. Great. So that's about culture. So if you have challenges with the culture, which has to do with the work, timing, punctuality, disciplinary issues, relationship issues, what do we need to do? We need organizational cultural transitions. Most of the challenges, in fact, most of the challenges, if the structure is not proper, the culture would definitely be hampered. You would have a lot of cultural issues because your structure is not clearly defined. So we need organizational cultural transitions. How do we do that? You need to have an assessment. Have an assessment of your current organization-wide leadership. It all starts, all the problems in the workplace, my friends, I mean all the problems in the workplace, has a deep hinge on leadership. Because when leadership is properly placed, your structure is in place, your culture will be enhanced to advance. So you do a current organizational-wide leadership assessment, and then look out for what you need to let go of. Maybe you need to let go of coercive use of language. You need to let go of more of your management prerogative and all those things. And you need to open up for more conversations, more engagement. And also you need to open up for an inquiry where you need to get involved the workers within the system to build the kind of culture that you want and influencing it through your organizational structure. So that's leadership. And leadership is work because you are dealing with people who have grown. They have come from primary to secondary to university. Some of them have worked for years. They have an ingrained culture in them that you need to help them to let go of, for them to accept and take on your culture to drive your business. And once that is done, you know what they need to let go of. Look out for the kind of culture that exists in your workplace and try to develop a system for how you can transition it. And you need to take on very new way of doing things, a new way of providing leadership. Culture is about leadership. Remember, the children do not tell the parent how they want to behave. It is the parent that disciplines and raises the child to behave in a certain manner. Give them values. So give values to your workers so that they can come early to work, so that they can respect authority, so that they can be disciplined, so that they can be people of integrity, and they will fully represent your workplace wherever you go. The third dimension is the competencies. Great. What about competency? What is competency? I know somebody is asking, what is the meaning of competency? Basically, your competencies, which is the second leg, are the skills and the expertise that you need to be able to perform the job role or the function within your organizational structure, to be able to valuably contribute to achieving the organizational goals. So at this point, we are not talking about personalities. We are not talking about relationships. We are absolutely talking about what you can do and who can do the job. Why do you need the competencies? Remember, the structure sets in the various roles. The culture helps in with the values we need to work to save us all the brouhaha within the problems. And then your competencies tells you the skills we need to work within a particular culture to be able to perform the job role, to save you stress, to save you poor performance. I'm now dealing with your challenges. To save you misalignment, to save you rework, to save you from having square pegs in round holes, to save you from an unproductive workforce that limits your workflow. And remember, it is not the worker that will come and tell you, I have this competency, so take it. That's what we have in a lot of workplaces. The problems you are having in your workplace is because you have brought in people. The MD brought in the brothers, sisters, son, and then it's up in the public sector. I'm bringing in my child. My child is bringing in a friend. We are not looking at the competencies. We are looking at the people. So that is the first leg. Find who can do what. The next one is that another competency that HRs need to look out for to help fix their problems. Managerial leadership is a core management function. Your individual and teams, what competencies, core workplace competencies do we need for each individual, which team? The issue of conflict within the workplace, the issue of argument and bickering. You are looking at emotional intelligence. So if you are now going to have new hires, please take note of these competencies. Don't just look at the degree. Now, the HR function and the recruitment processes, we have moved beyond just academic qualifications. We have moved beyond professional qualifications. We are now looking at the competencies that you bring to bear and the value that you are here to add. Emotional intelligence. Other skills and tools you can look at is technical competencies, soft skills, time management, resource management. And all these competencies I'm talking about, they are either lacking or enhanced. When they are lacking, you have problem in the workplace. You have underperformance. You have people who are always emotional. You have people who are always going to the court. You have people who are insubordinate. So look out for these competencies. And when you have all the things I just mentioned, insubordination, problems, and all that, you ask yourself, is this a competency issue? If it's a competency challenge, then how do I deal with it? Now you look, what competencies is this person lacking that I need to work on to help him add value to the team? How do we fix the workplace challenges? I've spoken about the challenge and the routes along the way. The first one is, one, structural. If it is a structural challenge, a challenge that is coming from structure, confused workspace, problems all over, you need to restructure. Make the necessary structural adjustments to fit the required structure that will help to aid your business and aid the workflow. If it is a cultural problem, lateness, theft, indiscipline, and all the rest, look into the culture. First, you need to have some engagement. First is assessment. Remember, as technical professionals, HRs, practitioners, we are always to be reflecting what is working for us, what is not working for us, what do we need to add value to. So do a lot of engagement. You need to look at your policies, especially with culture. What policies do we have in place? How do we refine our policies to be able to promote the culture that we want within our workers? What are the processes that we have in place? How do we work within the processes to use the processes to influence a change within our culture to help us deal with all these problems? Training. Is it a competency issue? He's not fit for the job. You train in line with the law. You retrain. And now there's an added value. You coach. Recently, we just launched the International Coaching Federation, of which I'm a member. We have established the Ghana chapter, and you have professional coaches, globally certified coaches like myself, who can coach in organizational effectiveness, who can coach in leadership, who can coach in various aspects of issues that you need change in. So you hire a coach. Or if you have gone through all the processes, you have trained, you have retrained, you terminate. You see, termination is the last option that I've given. So this is it in a nutshell: workplace challenges, how you fix them. I'm going to open up and hand over to Patience to go into the chat box and let me have your questions. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lizzie Ann. Insightful presentation. And we have a lot of comments coming in the chat box. We have a question for you. So this question is coming from Clifford, Samuel Clifford. He says that how can an HR manager whose leadership is questionable questions the behavior of other whose leadership is questionable questions the behavior of other officers? Some HR officers are 10 gods in their offices.
Patience, in response to Clifford, I can tell you some of them have moved beyond teen gods to big gods. They have made themselves very big gods. And it's just like a father who smokes tells his teenage son, you are not supposed to smoke. This is an ad hominem fallacy. So somebody says, oh, it's ad hominem fallacy. You can't say, I'll disregard him, what he's saying because he smokes. No. But leadership is a vicarious responsibility. And you are supposed to be responsible for the actions and inactions of the people. So if I'm responsible for your action and inactions, it means I must present myself as a HR practitioner who is credible enough to be able to manage the systems, the processes, and the behaviors of the people. So I'll tell you, this HR practitioner himself needs to be worked on. And mind you, I know we are mostly HRs on the platform. Human resource management is a calling. It's just like ministry. You are dealing with people who have emotions, who are irrational. Some can be rational, some can be difficult. So it's, if you don't have the ethos for it, forget it. You go in and you get messed up.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Lizzie Ann. Samuel, let's know if you're okay with the response from Lizzie, or you want to ask further clarification. But I think that I am okay. I'm not the one that asked the question, but I'm okay here. So we have Stephanie. Stephanie says that the session was indeed enlightening. Thank you, Stephanie. Now, Anne, I have a question here. Usually you get people say that, and there's no structure in my workplace. We don't have a structure. We are all a lot of people pointing the challenge or the basis of their challenge to structure. Now the question is, what practical steps can HR professionals take? Or maybe somebody is watching us, the person is not an HR practitioner, but is interested in making sure that things work in their organization. What practical steps can be taken to ensure that we have proper structures in place to aid in the effectiveness of our organizations?
Hire a consultant.
This question
here, as that.
It's been answered. Save your headache. You save yourself. You avoid headache.
You are already within the system. So if you are within a system, it's like you have a single bedroom and you have been living in a single bedroom as if it is a 6 or 8 bedroom mansion. So if you say, okay, I want to rework on it, what is going to happen? You would have to first of all collapse the single bedroom for you to be able to set up new structures. But when you bring in a consultant, what the consultant is going to do is tell you, okay, you already have a single bedroom, but in line with your vision and organizational objectives, what you actually are supposed to have is a 4-bedroom or 6-bedroom or 8-bedroom mansion. So what we do is not to kill or collapse the business right now. We would put in structures and pillars around your single bedroom to uphold the kind of business that you want and build on it. And I can assure you, consultants will be the best people to advise you and guide you on how to build structures.
Right, thank you very much. So get yourself a consultant. You can reach out to Sedat Consult. We would do a good job for you. Our contact number.
Gami is also there.
Sure, I was coming to you.
That was just on the lighter side.
Oh yes. I mean, why not? They said there's an adage in Tree that says that a lot of fish or meat in the soup doesn't spoil the soup. And so yes, get in touch with us at Sedat Consult 0244629245. Gami and Gami, hey, we can tell what has happened to you. Right, so we can tell Lizzie Ann's light is out. Oh, sorry. We hope that it comes up. But the good thing is that we are almost done. We have just less than 2 minutes to wrap up, and so we will do that. I was going to ask Lizzie Ann a question on where or how do we start, or where do we start from if we want to change the culture in our organization. And unfortunately, her lights are out. Oh, that's unfortunate, but it's fine. I'm sure the conversation would still continues. Conversation still continues. So don't worry. You can keep your questions coming in. If you want to see clarification, don't worry. Please keep it coming. We would send it to Lizzie Ann. She'll respond to it, and then we will share with you. We would reach out to you and share the feedback with you. Would have been good to have her here to respond to some of the questions coming in. But hey, our time is up, and I mean that's why I said it's good. The lights went out at this time, because okay, so good. She's around. She'll be joining us soon in the studio. We have one. Let me take this question from her. Okay, so Lizzie-Ann, you are welcome. We can see that you have your lights are out.
Part of the structural issues.
This is a very practical example to what um, we are discussing. But good to have you back. I have a question on culture for you, but let me go to the comment section. I have Anita. Anita says that, hello, I need a consultancy services on culture and organizational effectiveness. Can you help? I'm sure Lizzie-Ann will be ever ready to help. So reach out to us, and then we would link you up to her. 0244629245. We'll connect you to Lizzie-Ann to assist you. Okay, so our time is up, but I have a question on culture I want us to handle before we leave. So where do we start from if we want to change the culture of our organizations? If we realize the environment is toxic, the culture is very bad, and we want to change the culture that exists in the organization, where do we start from? How do we go about it?
So there are two things. You start from where you are, and then you go retrospective into your vision. Where do you want to be as an organization? What kind of culture would you like to have as an organization? If you don't know, then you can equally hire a consultant. Else, you can look at other businesses within your sector or industry. What kind of culture has aided those high-performing businesses within my industry? And then you can now look out for those that are aiding, that's not just aiding, but it must also align with your vision and corporate objectives. So look at where you are, that which is not helping you. What is the blockade? Go back. What is our vision? What do we want? Where do we want to be? What kind of values would we like to have and carry along with us in our success story? And then bring it into today and see how you can inculcate a new culture. Remember, culture is dynamic. So at every point in time, you can continue to change and add value to your culture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lizzie-Ann. We would take your final words, and then we would end the episode for today. And so we want to hear you. It's been a very insightful session with you. I have learned a lot, and I believe that our viewers out there have also learned a lot. I want to take your final words before we close for today.
Thank you so much, Pat, for having me. Thank you to your audience for staying connected. And what I'll leave you to take home is don't just jump into conclusions. Oh, we have this problem. How do we fix it? How do we fix it? Try to always fit your challenges or workplace problems within the 3 dimensions to be able to guide you to know. First, look within. What are we doing well as leadership or HR? Where is the disjoint? And then go back. If you don't have policies in place, quickly develop policies to tackle certain problems. If you don't have structures in place, go back and find how to rebuild structures to uphold your systems and processes. And then if you don't have systems and processes in place, get the people who know how to do it to come help you in systems and processes that will help you to prevent even the coming into being of challenges. We can avoid workplace challenges. We can. But in a situation where you don't have the systems, the processes, the competencies, and the culture to avoid them, then I'll tell you, please get in people to fix you. Thank you.
getting people to fix you, getting people to support you. If you want to create an effective workplace, or if you want your organization to be effective, don't jump into conclusion. Make sure that you look critically, or you assess the three dimensions that we've spoken about: structure, culture, and competences. And if you feel that you cannot do it, please get support. You don't know it all and you can't do it all. You definitely need an expert to help you fix your challenge. And there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make you less a leader. And so please get support, get support, get support. And of course, we will link you up to Lizzie Ann. We'll link you up to other experts that can help you. All right. So we have Daco says, God bless that. God bless you, Daco. Is Samuel Clifford says, yeah, I'm okay with the response and I love the presentation. Thank you so much for loving the presentation. All right. So Sophia says, very insightful conversation. Well done. Thank you, Sophia, for joining us. Thank you all for joining us on today's episode. And we discussed common workplace challenges and how to handle them as HR professionals. If for any reason you joined the conversation late, don't worry. We will share the link, the recorded link on all our social media handles, including our WhatsApp platform. And so feel free to get access to the link. Go back, listen to it. And these kind of educational lectures or knowledge, you don't listen to it once and put it down. No, it must be a continuous listening. Keep listening, keep learning, and I'm sure we'll be fine. So please don't worry if you join in late. Just stay tuned with us. Just link us, connect with us on all our social media handles. Like I said, we earlier on, we are on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Reach out to us, Sadat Consult, and you will have the link. If you are on our WhatsApp platform, you would get it as well. If you are not there and you are interested in joining, get all right. So the link has been shared in the comment section. Just click on it and join our WhatsApp platform. Thank you so much, Lizzie Ann, for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you. We learn a lot from you anytime you join us on Sadat HR Digest. And to you out there, I want to say a very big thank you for coming. Angela, I see your comment. Insightful. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, Angie. I will return your call. Don't worry. That's an indirect way to let me know I owe you a call. I will return your call. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Wherever you watched us from, we are very much grateful. Keep watching Sadat HR Digest. Keep learning. Remember, you need to keep learning. You need to keep upgrading in terms of knowledge for you to survive in this rapid changing working environment in which we are. And Sadat HR Digest offers you that platform. You don't pay anything. It is free on Sundays, 4 to 5 p.m. with experts who will help you to handle or to understand some topical issues that you are going through. Thank you so much. We love you. We wish you a very lovely week and enjoy your evening. And hey, don't forget, Sadat HR conference is coming. I hope I'll meet you and you will join in this year's conference. It's going to be mega, it's going to be big, it's going to be super. I'll see you at the conference, but hey, don't forget, enjoy your week, stay away from trouble, and do what you are required to do. Thank you and have a good evening.